Hello, I got another rifle to show you that I acquired along the way. And this one here it's an 1894 Winchester, 25-35 Winchester centerfire. This rifle here belonged to one of my grandfathers, my seventh one. His name was Jim Short. He's a native Californian. I'm not sure when he bought this rifle, but it does have a history. He and his sister had 65,000 acres of land up around in the Paynes Creek area out of Manton, California. But he shot a lot of deer with this and a lot of bears. He told me he killed, he'd get really close though, and he'd take a good shot with it. This rifle is pretty darn accurate, really, in its day. And he did have to trail one bear into the brush. He said it was pretty scary. But he drove, one of the jobs he had was driving the stage from Susanville, California to Red Bluff, I believe it was. And he lived in Anderson. That's where his main place was. But I was fortunate enough to go hunting on his property up there. And I don't know whether, I was probably about 16 or 17 years old, visiting him there in Anderson. And he brought this rifle out and he wanted to give it to me. That's how I got it. And the property he was on, I mean, there was all kinds of animals up there, so like in the foothills of Lassen County, where the volcano is. And he told me a few stories, and maybe I can tell you. He had I think it was his nephew. And one night, his nephew asked him, he says, you know anything about spotlighting deer? You know, and this was a long time ago though, when there weren't all the rigs that we have nowadays. He says, yeah, he says, I can show you, I guess. So he went out on his porch and says, here, take this flashlight and shine it out there, and you see some eyes out there, that'll be a deer probably, you know. So he does that, and he spotlight this deer, what he thought was a deer, and he shot it, and he says it was a hell of a lesson because he killed his cow. No, he never did that again. So that's one of his stories. And this, you know, they call him Jim Short, but he was tall, man. That guy was like 6'2", and a real nice fella. And I don't know why he gave me this rifle. I guess he liked me. He knew I was interested in guns and that kind of stuff. But anyway, I acquired it, and I shot it with factory ammo, Winchester PowerPoints, with 117 grain bullets. And it really does shoot well off the bench. But one time or another, he placed the front sight with a finer sight, and it had a saddle ring on the side of it, but he told me he took it off because it would make noise, you know. Most old timers used to tie a piece of
leather or something.
Leather, yeah, leather. Yeah. So it would stop it from clicking and clacking. You can actually see where there's a mark on the side here where it used to be, and where it was attached to this. Where it was attached to the action here. It's filled in now.
Yep.
Yep.
You see where it wore on the metal there a little bit.
Yeah. So he told me, he says, you know, he used to just replace them because it was a noise maker. You can see it's got the crescent butt plate. This gun really shoots really well off the bench. When I had really good eyesight, when I was younger, I shot some nice groups with it.
Yeah, I shot it a few times.
Yeah, it's nice, you know, it shoots good. I did shoot one deer with it up there in Barnum Ridge. That was good. Just dropped it.
Yeah?
Yeah. But that's the only animal I ever took with it, and I haven't shot it. You know, I just didn't shoot it anymore. You know, just kind of put it in the safe. But it's testimony, you know, to Winchester built good guns. They still do. They still do. So, yeah, my mother used to always kid Jim and said, kid her mother. Her name was Laura Pabst, part of the Pabst Blue Ribbon thing, dynasty in Germany. You know, their family immigrated when the Nazis were taking over. But anyway, my mom would always kid her after Jim passed away, who was going to be Henry VIII. My grandmother said there was not going to be any Henry VIII. That's it. But they had a good relationship, and Jim and her, she loved him a lot, and that was good. Anyway, she outlived all her husbands, and now she's gone. I don't know, man. This is a fine weapon, and
You know what exact year is manufactured?
well, this one, it's model 1894. Let's see here.
Guess you'd have to look up the serial number or something.
Yeah, serial number would be the way to do it. But I've never done that. There's got some patented August 2nd, 21st, 1894. It's got a nickel steel barrel. Especially for smokeless powder. You can get a closer look at it, maybe.
What other, do these come in like 4440 and?
Yeah, I believe 4440, 3030. Maybe 32 Winchester at one time. 3855 maybe.
The crown of the barrel's kind of worn out on this, isn't it?
Yeah, it's got a lot of wear in it. It was shot a lot. But it's surprisingly, of course,
hole in the stock there.
Yeah, that's probably where he had a sling, some kind of makeshift sling on it. And it's worn, definitely worn. But I was surprised it shot as well as it did. You know, it's really loose.
Ammo's hard to come by now.
Yep. Winchester.
I think I saw an article where they're still making it. But
Yep, they made another run because
yeah.
for a while there, I mean, it was like obsolete. It was hard to find. I still have a box or two in the put away, and I think you can find it, but it's hard to find any ammo nowadays.
Yeah.
Most people are buying it as soon as it comes off on the shelf. So, anyway, this is a real fine gun. I was really surprised he gave it to me, and I was lucky enough to be able to shoot it and know about the history of it a little bit. Yeah. And it's an accurate round. I'm really surprised it shoots as well as it does because there is quite a bit of wear, especially toward the muzzle area here. And because it, you know, it was scrubbed out with probably a metal rod or something like that. So, but this one's still alive and it still shoots, and it's amazing. I'd like to know how many rounds have been put through this thing. You can see the wear on that in this area here.
Yep. That was a trigger on there.
Probably not too bad. A lot of slop here.
Yeah.
I'll set it off. It's not too heavy.
Yeah.
We'd have to check it with a trigger gauge.
Yep.
So there she is. One nice rifle.